Hi everyone, this is Nathan with the eBookReader.com. For this video, I'm going to give you guys a quick comparison between the Kobo Glo here on the left and the Nook GlowLight here on the right. So the two devices have a lot in common. They both support EPUB. They both have the front lights and the same resolution screen as the 1024 by 758 HD e-ink Pearl screens. Let me go ahead and show you how the front lights compare. Let me turn this light off right here. The two front lights compare very well. I mean, they're very similar. The Nook's, it's a little bit whiter, and it's just a tad brighter here at full brightness. The Kobo Glows, I would say, it doesn't quite have as much shadowing. You can kind of see like a shadow line at the bottom, but the Nook, it just sort of has a little bit more wavy shadows, a little bit more of a yellow hue down here at the bottom. I guess the Kobo's is just a hair clearer. I kind of thought initially that the Nook's was better, but I think the Kobo's is actually a little bit better. I don't know, they're so similar, it's hard to compare. The Nook's just has a little bit of a yellowing down here where the Kobo Glo doesn't, but I mean, it's just, I think it varies between individual units, because both my other Kobo e-readers have the yellow hue at the top. So this is actually my best Kobo front light as far as their e-readers are concerned. So as far as the fonts go, we've got a lot more font adjusting options on the Kobo. On the Nook, we've just got the 6 font choices, and we've got various font sizes. The thing that separates the Kobo is you can load your own fonts in here, and there's a whole bunch already preloaded. So I got Malabar loaded both on here right now, so that's pretty comparable between the two units. One thing about Kobo is also you can go in here and you can increase the weight and sharpness of the font, so you can make it appear a lot bolder than it really does. The downside with that is it makes it look more rough around the edges. It's not going to show up on the video, but when you see it in person, I kind of don't like using the boldness actually, because it just makes the text appear fuzzy. You kind of got to get it just right, just by adjusting the font, the weight and the sharpness, because obviously once you adjust the weight, it becomes less sharp. So you kind of got to just sort of fine-tune these little sliders here and get it exactly how you want it. So it's just sort of one of those advanced features that the Nook doesn't have. Like with the Nook, we got these 6 preloaded fonts right here, and we've got, like I said, the various sizes here, and we've got the 3 line spaces and 3 margin settings. And on the Kobo, we've got a lot more line and font adjusting options. So I mean, you can keep doing this. There's probably like 15 settings. There's a whole bunch of different settings in here. You just tap it. It does take it a couple of seconds to update. Sometimes I think the device is frozen because it just doesn't do anything, but then once it updates, then it shows it up here. See, it says updating font settings at the top. It does take it quite a while sometimes. As far as the Nook, I mean, you just tap it and it takes like a couple of seconds to switch. So I've got some thicker line spacing on the Kobo now. Let's go back to Malabar so we have the comparable fonts between these two guys. So as far as that goes, we've also got the justification on the Kobo, so you can turn it left or right. If you don't like the weird spacing with full justification, you can just turn on left justification so that everything's got the even spacing, but then it'll have the jagged edge. Sometimes it doesn't work though. As you can see right here, this particular book isn't doing it. Or maybe it's just updating again. It takes forever sometimes. So let's go back here to the Nook. Let me adjust the front lights here, guys, and show you some different levels on the front lighting. So it looks like the Kobo's got some problems now. It's frozen up. Okay, here we go. There, about time. So yeah, it can get weird adjusting the font sometimes. It takes it forever. So let's go ahead and move these down to about half brightness on both of these. I don't know how well it's going to show up in the lighting in this particular room because it's not too dark. But these are both about 50%, 48, and it's about 50 on the Nook. So it's definitely brighter on the Kobo at the lower setting here. The Nook, it doesn't even hardly look like it's on. Let's go ahead and turn the light off on both of these. Here's the thing that you'll see on the Kobo right here. It has issues with this is a side-loaded book, huge space right here. It's not a chapter or anything, it's just, I don't know, Kobo's weird sometimes. Let's go ahead and load up this, turn off these lights. With the Nook, you can actually just hold the button there. That's what I should have done. The Kobo, it has a button on top. So let's turn the light off on both of these. They both have the e-ink Pearl screen, so they should be pretty comparable, and they are. The background definitely looks a little bit lighter on the Kobo than the Nook though. It just always seems to depend from unit to unit. Sort of like hard to generalize, to be honest with you. Okay, so as far as features are concerned, like I said, the Kobo has a lot more going for it than the Nook. The Nook's pretty much a basic e-reader. I mean, it supports Adobe EPUB, and you can sideload ebooks on here. It has the limited amount of space, only 500 megabytes for sideloaded content. You got 2.5 gigabytes for Nook, or 2 gigabytes for Nook content. You got the half gigabyte for sideloaded content with the Kobo. You've got a micro SD card slot, so it doesn't really make a difference. You can load in whatever you want in there because we've got the micro SD card slot down here. The Kobo has more going for it as far as like an estimating reading time reading thing. It doesn't work here on this side-loaded EPUB because this is side-loaded, but on regular Kobo books. They have the estimated reading speed. They've also got translations. So the Kobo or the Nook is a lot more basic in that regard. So you've just got the table of contents, you got search, and you've got go to and like the text adjusting options, and you've got bookmarks. That pretty much is everything. So we've also got like the on-screen stuff where if you hold down on a word, you get the dictionary and you get the highlights and notes. So the Kobo has that as well. So as far as that goes, they're very comparable. You can also translate words on the Kobo if you just do this directly. You just hit down here, translation dictionary, and then you can just translate on the fly to some other dictionary if you wanted. So the Kobo also has some other like features as far as like the settings up here. You can I always forget, the Kindle you have to tap on the top, Kobo you have to tap on the bottom, Nook you have to tap on the bottom. Okay, so the settings in here, we've got some other options, like you have the web browser, and we got some chess, sketchpad. The Nook doesn't have any of that. The Nook's very just basic. It doesn't have any kind of Wi-Fi. You can shop from Barnes & Noble store and you can read their ebooks is basically it. Where the Kobo, you got some web browser where you can use to download books from other sources, which is kind of nice if you just want to use the device itself instead of having to use the USB cable to sideload everything. So one of the advantages I would give the Nook is the text just appears clearer and crisper. Right here especially at a slight angle, and the text is just, it kind of looks a little bit fuzzy, like you're looking through it through a glass on the Kobo. The Nook is definitely clearer. I don't know exactly what the reason is. They both have the infrared touchscreen, so you can't blame it on a capacitive screen or anything like that. So for whatever reason, it's just a little bit clearer on the Nook screen. Of course, you got the lack of features on the Nook, so obviously the Kobo is more attractive with the SD card slot and some of the advanced features that it has. But you know, that just sort of depends on what you're looking for from an e-reader. If you like Nook books and you already got a bunch of Nook books, there's really no reason to go the route of Kobo. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this review right here. Check out the ebookreader.com. I'll have more information comparing these two devices in the written review. So thank you for watching and have a good day.